Hardly any of you can remember what was before you were born, but it's worth thinking about and bam, before your eyes. There are glimpses of memories of your youth. But was everything clear to you at that moment? And how could you explain the meaning of the word big? You don't need to be a professional educator to understand it. You should simply take small and large objects and name their signs. This shows that everything is cognized in comparison. In the same way, survey the world and adults. Hence, such close attention to cosmic objects, distances, and processes. But what lies behind this veil, and where does the truth lie? No one disputes that mountains are high, oceans are huge, and the distance between Moscow and New York is considerable. But in our universe, there are objects immeasurably larger, and distances much more serious than those mentioned. They are so enormous that an Earth observer does not even have the ability to see the stars in real time. For example, we see the sun as it was 8 minutes ago. It's ridiculous to even mention more distant objects. If we take the values which are commonly used to measure distances in space, then only within the solar system we use miserable, from the universal point of view, astronomical units. 1 AE is the average distance from the Sun to the Earth, 149,600,000 kilometers. Already outside the relatively familiar world, this measure loses its meaning. Interstellar distances in the galaxy are measured in light years. 1 light year is a number that is difficult to even call, 9 with 12 zeros, or more precisely, 9.46 times 10 to the power of 12 kilometers. But even this measure is not enough if we are talking about intergalactic distances. Here comes into force parsec, scientific name, parallax second, which is equal to 3.26 light years. Further values range from kiloparsecs to megaparsecs. It's the same with size. It seems to us that the Earth is very large. It is, given the minuscule size of human beings. So, too, probably thinks the ant, crawling reverently through an anthill. Many of us will live our lives, occasionally leaving our room to buy milk at the nearest market, without ever realizing the greatness and diversity of the Earth. But our planet is just one of the smaller objects in the cosmos. Sure, there are comets, small asteroids, Mercury and the Moon, after all, which are small compared to Earth. But there are many more truly enormous objects. Trying to compare some of them to our tiny planet just doesn't make sense. Even within the solar system, comparing Earth to Jupiter is like putting a pea and a soccer ball side by side, and a poppy seed and an orange with the sun, respectively. The volume of our luminary exceeds the same indicator of the Earth in 1,301,000 times, and the diameter in 109 times. But that's just the beginning. If you continue to compare and put alike, then gradually covers superstitious horror of how huge can be cosmic objects. For example, the star Betelgeuse, a rather bright supergiant in our galaxy, is 17 times more massive than the Sun, and more than 950 times larger in diameter. But that's nothing compared to the monster about to become a supernova star located in the constellation of the Big Dog. The star is 2,000 times the diameter of the Sun. That's about 3 billion kilometers, and 300,000 times brighter than it. If light were to travel around its equator, it would take 8 hours. But these are just stars. Galaxies, that's where the shocking size lurks. If we were given the power to shrink the Sun to the size of a white blood cell, and to shrink the Milky Way, it would be the size of Russia. And if we consider that there are billions of galaxies in the universe, it becomes uncomfortable to realize how small we are in this alien, cold and huge world. For example, the galaxy IC1011 located from the Milky Way at a distance of 350 million light-years, has with it a difference in size greater than the difference between the Earth and the Sun. About the titanic parameters of black holes and quasars, have heard of many who are interested in this topic. As an example, we can cite one such giant under the code number 1277, which for clarity can be compared with the orbit of Neptune. The latter is about 8 light hours if you follow it, and to orbit this black hole would take 4 light days. One such hole could swallow the entire solar system and not even choke. In the constellation with the romantic name Veronica's, Hare inhabits another crumb. Its diameter is 12 times larger than the solar system. In addition, it is 21 million times more massive than the Sun. But there are objects in the universe which, by their incredible size, completely refute all conceivable cosmological principles. For example, the postulate that no cosmic body or formation can exceed 300 million light-years. This is the so-called end of grandeur. But the cosmological house is completely collapsed by the existence of such an object as the Great Wall, Hercules' northern crown. This is a titanic formation consisting of galaxies connected by a common gravitational force, which has a cross-section of 3 gigaparsecs, 10 billion light-years. Unfortunately, mankind only knows the size of the observable universe, but even this scrap of visible space is immeasurably larger than the solar system. By tradition, let us give an illustrative example. If we reduce the solar system to 1 millimeter, the universe will be the size of the planet Saturn. Well, and it is subscribe, or you will lose our channel and miss all the most interesting. And yes, you can look in our public in contact. There, we post everything that is not included in the issues. Click links on the screen and in the description.